Alina Svitolina issued an emotional plea to Wimbledon. Alina Svitolina has issued an emotional plea to Wimbledon as the former world number 3 urged the All England club to keep their ban on Russians this year while innocent Ukrainians are still being killed. It comes days after she called on the Olympics to also ban players from Russia and Belarus. Wimbledon is set to make a decision on whether they will ban Russians and Belarusians from competing at the tournament again this year over the coming months, with the final announcement expected to be made during their spring press conference. Players from the two nations were barred last year in response to the war in Ukraine. It comes after both the All England Club and the LTA, the governing body for British tennis, were both fined for banning players from the nations in 2022, with both the men's and women's ATP and WTA tours threatening the LTA with expulsion if the ban was repeated at their warm-up tournaments at the likes of Queen's and Eastbourne. With a decision for the 2023 tournaments yet to be made, Olympic bronze medalist Svitolina believes Russian and Belarusian players should remain banned from Wimbledon. The war is still there. The decision should not be any different, the 16-time title winner told BBC Sport. Svitolina, a former semi-finalist at Wimbledon, will be coming back from maternity leave this year and urged Wimbledon to keep the ban in place as she noted that innocent Ukrainians were still being killed. She continued, "I hope they will do the same thing and keep the ban in place. I don't think it should change. There are still people suffering and still Russian soldiers killing innocent Ukrainians." It comes after the 28-year-old also called on the International Olympic Committee to ban Russian and Belarusian athletes from the Paris 2024 Games after the IOC announced it would consider allowing them to compete under a neutral flag, saying no athlete should be prevented from competing just because of their passport. Ukraine has already threatened to boycott the Olympics if players from the nations are allowed to play, with Estonia also joining the calls. And Svitolina, a bronze medalist in women's singles at the Tokyo 2020 Games, believes the use of neutral flags has not changed anything. She explained, "I don't think the neutral flag is changing anything." While the former world number 3 was clear that she had nothing against her Russian and Belarusian colleagues, she explained why she thought they needed to be banned. "I see a lot of comments that sport should be out of politics, but Russian sport is a big part of their politics," she said. "Hopefully we don't have to make this boycott decision because this would be sending a wrong message." Svitolina also outlined why she thought banning athletes from the two nations was vital to ending the war. "Why is it different? We have to sanction Russian and Belarusian people in general because of what their governments are doing. This is my view," she added. "I have nothing against particular athletes. But how else can we stop this war? We should sanction the people from Russia and Belarusian as much as possible because their governments are doing these severe things in Ukraine. The sanctions will stop these governments doing what they are doing.